Just want to give it a shot? Super easy. Super easy, man. Trust me, you guys will get it.
I feel like this is a carnival type thing.
Nah, it's not a scam, that's for sure. Trust. You'll just gain knowledge, if anything.
Okay.
If anything, yeah. All right, cool. So, two questions, multiple choice. This is the first one. So there's a box truck here with a bowling ball hanging with a string inside of the box truck. So one box truck is at rest, one is accelerating forward, and one is accelerating in reverse. So out of these three, which box truck is at rest?
Out of the three, which one is at rest?
Which one's at rest?
Completely at rest wasn't moving at all prior.
No, it's just at rest. Oh, you said B?
Completely at rest wasn't moving
Yeah.
at all. Listening prior to should be.
Yeah, it is B.
Okay.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not trying to trick you. It's pretty easy. No, yeah. So obviously the reason why is because the ball is not moving. It's not reacting. It's not swinging. You know, obviously. So that's the one that shows you that the one's at rest. Which one's accelerating forward?
Accelerating forward should be A. I would like to agree.
Yes.
Yes,
it is A. So how do you know it's A?
It's being left behind. So like the rope is tugging on the ball.
Yes.
Towards the direction.
And what's tugging the rope? The truck.
The truck.
Exactly. So the ball is being left behind due to inertia because it's trying to remain in its position in space pretty much because of inertia.
Right.
So yeah, pretty easy. See, you got it. So the second one, similar. This one's pretty similar, but except of a bowling ball, it's a helium balloon.
It's a helium balloon.
So here, the helium balloon is obviously less dense in the air. That's the only difference. But of these three, which one is at rest?
If prior conditions, like the truck isn't moving beforehand?
Yes. Yes, B. Yes, you got it. So it is B. For the same reason as the first one, obviously it's not moving, it's not reacting.
Yeah.
So out of these three, which one's accelerating forward?
It's the fact that it's lighter than air plays a part. It should not. I feel like it should either detach to the bottom of the truck. I don't think it makes a difference either. It's still attached.
You guys still think it's A?
I'm trying to remember the last time I had to do that shit. Because I remember I had to like get shit for a party.
No, okay. Yeah.
It was like really annoying.
Yeah.
But it's technically being. It's not like strictly attached to the truck. If that makes sense. Like it's a part of the helium. Yeah. It's like.
Okay. All right. It's actually C. So the reason why it's C, and it does have to do with the air being more dense, is when you accelerate a box truck forward, for example, all of the air that's inside of the box truck, the air inside of the box truck is also being pushed forward because it's trapped inside of the box truck. So because air is more dense in helium, is able to push it in that same direction that air is moving as well. Because again, the air inside of the box truck is also being moved because it's all accelerating. Right? Okay. So again, because helium is less dense, it gets pushed in the direction of the force by the medium. Yes, obviously it is a closed system. You know, maybe I should make that more obvious, right? It's closest. But yeah, I have an example here. For example, so that's what we'll call buoyancy when the less dense object gets pushed by the medium that surrounds it. That's more dense, right? So this is a buoyant object, for example. Here, water is more dense than this ball. If I accelerate in this direction, what direction will the ball go? Front or back? Yeah, if I accelerate this container in this direction, what direction will the ball react? Forward or back? The water's more dense.
Yeah, should be floating. It's the same
principles.
Should be the same direction where the water is going.
Yeah. See, it gets pushed forward. Yeah. Perfect. So obviously the buoyant object will always react to acceleration, and it will always get pushed in the same direction as the force. Yeah. Right? So here, let me show you this real quick. I did this experiment myself in cargo van with a helium balloon and an apple. So based on these principles that we just seen, what direction did I accelerate there? To the right or to the left?
The helium balloon?
Yeah, what direction did I accelerate the van, the whole container? To the right or to the left? To the right. Exactly. Because again, not only does matter show you the exact moment I accelerated, it shows you the direction I accelerated as well, because the helium gets pushed in that direction by the air. And again, I did it in a smaller scale too, again with a water container with a ping pong ball and a steel ball. Obviously, the ping pong ball is the buoyant object in there. What direction did it accelerate here? To the right, exactly. So again, matter will always react to acceleration 100% of the time, right? So I did a vertical acceleration down. So I was holding a water bottle like this, and I accelerated one down vertically. Out of these two, which one would you say I accelerated down? The one on the left or the one on the right?
This one.
The one on the right? Yeah. Exactly. Because obviously matter reacted. Yeah, pretty easy, right? Pretty easy to understand these principles. So here's the thing. If I have an object like this, for example, and I didn't accelerate it down, but just simply released it into free fall, do you believe gravity pulled it down to the earth? Like if I have a water bottle, right, and I released it.
Yeah.
Right? You believe that gravity accelerates it down in free fall?
The whole container.
Yeah, the whole container.
Yes.
Okay. So here's the thing. The one on the left was actually free fall. I just released it into free fall, but we see that matter didn't react to that acceleration. There was no change.
Isn't it the fact that it's falling and then we kind of like stop the force, the gravity, like abruptly? That's what causes the buoyant object to move.
No, well, the buoyant object moves because the medium that surrounds it has pressure. And depending on the direction of that pressure that's being applied, that's the direction that the buoyant object is going to follow. Right? In free fall, there's zero pressure acting on the bottle. So that's why there is no effects of acceleration. Because I don't know if you guys knew, gravity is just a theory. So a physical downwards force of gravity has never been detected or measured. So objects actually don't accelerate down towards the earth. It's actually the earth that actually comes up to the object. So how do we know that? Because buoyancy always follows the direction of the force, correct? If I have a helium balloon here on Earth and I release it, what direction does it go? It goes up, exactly. So why do you think it goes up?
Because the helium is less dense than air.
Yes, exactly. So it's being pushed up by the air because air is more dense. So in this scenario, it was the truck that pushed the air that pushed the helium. What's pushing up the air here on Earth to be able to push up the helium?
Pushing the... Sorry, is that...
So what's pushing up the air that's here on Earth to be able to push up the helium? Because the air has to be moving in the same direction that the helium is being pushed.
Yeah.
If the air's pushing it, then the air has to be moving in that same direction. Again, in this example, it was the truck that created that force of the air pushing on the helium. What's creating the force here on Earth that's pushing up the air to be able to push up the helium? Is actually the ground you're standing on. So the Earth itself is pushing up against you right now. It's not pulling you down. And that's why gravity as a pulling force is just the theory, because it's actually the other way around. So when you have an object and you release it into free fall, it looks like the object accelerates down, but that's because everything is moving up to the object. So this is simply losing momentum due to inertia. So just like the bowling ball is being left behind, right? And the tension's coming from the truck, this is being left behind and the pressure's coming from the Earth. So this doesn't move down, it's the Earth that moves up to the object. Right? So if we could prove physically that it's the ground pushing up on you right now and not pulling you down, because buoyancy shows us that, right? You guys believe the Earth is a ball, right? So do you guys understand?
Debatably,
I don't know about that.
So do you guys understand that on a ball, up is relative? In other words, if you're standing here, up is in this direction. If you're standing down here, up is in this. In every direction away from the center will be up on a ball. If we could prove that the literal ground is pushing up on us right now and not pulling us down, how can the Earth move up in every direction at the same time if it was a ball?
Moving up?
Yes, relative to where you're standing, it's pushing up. So it was pushing up in every direction away from the center. How can that work if it was a ball? Yeah. So the fact is, it wouldn't work because that would mean the Earth will have to be expanding.
Yeah.
Yes, which would just explode. So in order for people to believe in the ball Earth theory, they first have to believe in the theory of gravity being a pulling force. Because if we could prove that it's the other way around and it's actually pushing up, then that wouldn't work from a globe Earth. So that would debunk the whole globe Earth concept. That the force of the Earth is a push, not a pull. So that would be the number one proof to debunk the globe. So if I was to ask you guys respectfully, what's the number one proof that makes you guys believe the Earth is a ball?
Feels right.
It feels right, and if I look like over a long distance, like the objects get smaller a little bit.
Yes, they do get smaller.
So
why do you think they get smaller?
Because of the curvature little bit? I don't know.
No. Well, there is a limit.
No?
No, so the reason why objects appear to get smaller at a distance is because we have a limit to how far we can see.
Yeah.
So the angles of light entering our eye changes the further they go out. So those lines, something that's like say at eye level or above eye level, if it just moves away from you, it appears to go down, and then the bottom appears to go up. So that convergence is what makes objects appear to get smaller, because it's a convergence of our eyesight that's happening. So there's a limit of how far we can see, and the horizon is the limit of perspective. A lot of people think the horizon is the curve of the Earth. Sorry. So, but the reality is the horizon is just the limit of perspective. The horizon is not a geometric thing that's happening. It's happening in our eyes. It's just it's how far we can see.
So it'd still be there if we lived on a flat.
Yeah, if
It is.
Gee, wait,
yeah.
wait,
So
right.
again, if a boat appears to go over the horizon, it's just simply going out of view. It's out of our field of view.
It might be falling off the edge.
No, so the Earth doesn't have an edge. So, and the reason why is because you understand that at sea level there is 14.7 psi of air pressure, right?
I'll take that.
Allegedly. We have air pressure here on Earth. How about that? We don't even have to give a number. We have air pressure here on Earth. In order to maintain air pressure and not lose air pressure, the air has to be physically being contained somehow. So that's the law of entropy. Because if you have two opposing pressure systems, in order to maintain those two opposing pressure systems, you need a solid barrier separating the two. Because if you connect them in one container, you're going to have equilibrium. So high pressure will always rush into the lower pressure to equilibrate the air. They're claiming outer space is a negative pressure next to the Earth's pressure without a solid barrier separating the two, which defies the second law of thermodynamics and entropy. So the Earth is being physically contained somehow. So that's why you wouldn't fall off the edge.
Yeah.
Because literally the air is being physically contained. You know, that's the only way to maintain air pressure. There is no other way. They claim gravity is holding the air in, right? And that's why it doesn't go into space. But gravity, again, is just the theory to explain away the globe Earth model. Because that's how they explain orbits as well. You know, and all of these other, airplanes flying level over a curve, it's because gravity autocorrects it. So gravity is the explanation to everything that doesn't make sense. Because again, gravity is a requirement of the globe Earth, because without a pulling force of gravity, you don't have a model at all. So again, if we could prove that it's a pushing force of the Earth, then that easily debunks all of these claims about outer space and the geometry of the Earth as well, because it wouldn't work. So other than the horizon is, other than that, because obviously we do have a limit to how far we can see, and that can be replicated and demonstrated on a smaller scale as well. Is there anything else that makes you believe the Earth is a ball?
There's a pretty famous stuff. It was actually done by flat earthers. They pointed a laser pointer through a hole, and if it was flat, it should directly go through the other hole, but it didn't. So
okay, so let me easily debunk that. Easy, and I'm gonna show you a better measurement than that after. But
wait, how about
well, let me explain that one first.
Okay.
Try to keep that thought though. Keep that thought. Okay, if I shine a laser through water, do you think that laser is gonna go straight?
No. Something.
What happens?
You get water diffraction.
Yes. You understand that the air is it's basically moisture in the air, right? So if I shine a laser through the air, there's gonna be atmospheric refraction as well. So any laser experiments of straight line laser experiments are always gonna be inconclusive because of refraction. Right. So how do we actually get an accurate measurement of the Earth? There is one way actually. But before I get to that, do you know the radius of the Earth? They tell us.
Not right now. No.
Okay, it's you can look it up. It's 3,959 miles radius. So obviously we multiply that times 2, we get the diameter, and if we multiply that times pi, we get the circumference. So the circumference of the Earth is 24,901 miles allegedly. So based on the curvature of the Earth, they're telling us there has to be curvature every mile, and every mile it has to increase based on the numbers that we're given. So in the first mile, there should be an 8-inch drop, second mile, 32 inches, and by the third mile, there should be 6 feet of measurable curvature. And in 10 miles, there should be 66 feet. So based on the numbers they're giving us, how do we measure for that? So we go to a giant lake that's miles across, for example. If we physically build a level structure over the water is going to show us it's going to be parallel to anything horizontal above it, because that's what the physics of water is. It's when you have water contained and at rest, the surface always forms an equal surface, which is the level, which is horizontal. They're trying to tell us that the surface of a lake is bending 6 feet in 3 miles, which is a physical impossibility, in other words. So that's based on the curvature of the Earth. So again, if the gap is 5 feet between the level structure and the water, they're claiming there's going to be a 6 feet differential between that starting point and the end point of that water, which will be a 6 foot drop or 6 foot curve. But that physical measurement of the Earth curve has never been done, because again, water would simply debunk that. Because again, water doesn't have the ability to hump and maintain a shape like Jello. Because water, obviously, again, it can support itself. In other words, it just collapses and forms an equal surface 100% of the time, regardless of distance. They're claiming, however, that, oh no, it is regardless of distance. Only in small scale it doesn't bend, but at large scale they do.
Like,
but again,
who's they in this scenario?
I'm sorry?
Who's they in this scenario?
Globe Earth defenders,
Okay.
I would say, mainstream scientists like Neil deGrasse Tyson, Brian Cox, stuff like that, But the reality is the physics of water, again, doesn't have the physical ability to maintain a shape on the surface. So this will be the number 2 proof to debunk the globe Earth, is the physics of water. When containing at rest shows that there is no convexity of the Earth. Because you guys heard of the term sea level, right? How we measure height and depth from the datum line of sea level. Level meaning horizontal. So that horizontal line is the baseline that we use to calculate height and depth.
Yeah.
It's all done from a baseline that's horizontal, which is the sea. So the oceans are horizontal. They're not curving like they tell us. Right. So if I was to ask you guys, or you, for example, why do you believe the Earth is a ball? What's the number 1 proof?
Curvature, gravity.
So gravity, like I said, you probably missed the first part. So gravity, I don't know if you knew, is just a theory. So a pulling force of gravity has never been measured or detected. So what's happening is the force of the Earth is a push, not a pull. So go for it.
Sorry, you should finish.
No, yeah. So the ground is literally pushing up on you right now. It's not pulling you down towards it, and that's why we can't escape the Earth, because the Earth is constantly pushing up on you. So that's why you're stuck to the Earth, not because it's pulling you down. Do you guys have any questions before you go, or
Like, how would you debunk like someone circling around the alleged globe?
So you're talking about circumnavigation?
Circumnavigation.
Okay, perfect. So circumnavigation relies on the magnetic north, right? When you go east and west, you have to point a compass north, and then you go perpendicular to that west and east, right?
Yeah.
So if the Earth is a level plane and north, let's say it's here, we'll say it is a center point, and you have a magnet pointing north, if you go west or east using the magnetic north, you're eventually just going to make a circle and come back to the same spot. So that would work from a level plane or a globe. What nobody's ever done is gone south to come back under the ball and over again to come back to. Nobody's ever done that. Because in my opinion, if you just go south, you're going to reach the extremities of the Earth, which will be a container, in my opinion, not the edge. So what happened again? That's what will happen if you go south, in my opinion.
What's like the container?
I don't know what the container is. I hate to bring up Bibles because I'm not biblical myself or religious at all. But the Bible talks about a firmament, for example, separating the waters above from the waters below. That's what, I'm not religious myself, but that's just one explanation.
Like something unknown to us right now.
Yes. Okay. In my opinion, the governments probably have found this container.
Right.
And it was in my opinion, maybe around the 1940s when NASA was established. So in my opinion, they established NASA around that time when they found the end of the Earth, because they didn't want us to find out what they found out. So they're just lying to us about what the reality actually is. So I know you guys believe the heliocentric model, right? In outer space and everything. The fact is geocentric. So everything about outer space that we're being told about other Earth-like planets and terra firmas, all of that's just made up. So everything about outer space is CGI. So I'm gonna give you guys a challenge. Try to find a genuine photograph of a satellite in space. When you put satellites in Google,
you need to find a genuine though. Because I could go to the website and find a genuine photo, but then
no.
It's a classification.
No, if you go to Google right now and put satellite in space and go to images, they're all obviously cartoons. They don't even take the time to actually make a realistic one. Yeah. They're all obviously CGI. And in other words, a satellite from outer space doesn't exist. A photograph, a genuine photograph, and it's because they're not really going to outer space. That would mean they would have to leave the Earth containment system and somehow pop out on the other side, and again, that's just physically impossible.
Sucks for your rockets.
No, and not only that. Do you guys understand that, like helicopters and airplanes, they do have a limit to how high they can fly. They only,
like, for example,
yes.
Like this is like a supposed picture. Whatever,
Yeah.
hypothetically speaking.
Yeah.
So like, is that like also CGI? Or?
So that, in my opinion, they use a lot of green screens and blue screens and augmented reality as well. So there's a lot of camera trickery that's going on. So for example, look, let me show you this.
Genuine question.
Yes.
'Cause I'm interested in this too. Who do you think actually did 9/11? Genuine.
I don't know. If I'm being honest, I don't know.
What?
I don't
That's
know.
like out of the bounds of this.
No, but like,
Yeah, I know. He's trying to. I know what he's trying to do, though.
No. I mean,
That's a conspiracy
I'm
theory.
a genuine believer.
Sure. No, the fact is, I don't know.
It's an interesting circumstance. They put a lot of money right before it. That's interesting.
Yeah. So, simple fact: the only place you're ever going to see curvature of the Earth is through CGI images like this, because these are official NASA images, and they make them in a computer.
It's like iPhone wallpaper.
Yeah, exactly. It is. Yeah, I think it is. This one from 2002, and this one's from 2012. So they did use this one, I think, for the iPhone wallpaper. But yeah, NASA admits these are all made in a computer. They're all composites. The only place you're ever going to see curvature of the Earth is through CGI images like this, or through GoPro cameras that curve horizontal lines. So you guys are familiar with the fisheye lens, right? That wide-angle lens that warps horizontal lines. So when you see skydivers, for example, or people in high altitude using a GoPro camera, and they say, "Oh, look at the curvature," right? Look at it. It's just a camera warping effect. Because if you actually went to those altitudes, the horizon will always be horizontal. And here I have an example here of images with a standard camera over 20 miles in the sky. How would you describe the horizon geometrically?
It's pretty flat.
I would say horizontal. I would say the word horizon comes from the word horizontal. I mean, it's in the name,
That
literally.
checks out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So again, this is another proof that the Earth is not a globe. That the horizon is always horizontal, regardless where you are on Earth and how high you are.
So
You
like
know?
over there
Yes.
is like
No, it's the limit of perspective.
okay.
So when
it's
you're
not the container that we were
No.
talking about.
No. So eventually, again, you will reach the container. I don't know what it looks like. I don't know, the color, the materials that it's made out of. I don't know none of that. All I know is that air pressure needs to be maintained in order to maintain air pressure. You can't have a container maintaining air pressure with a hole in it. It just doesn't work because of entropy.
Yeah.
But they're claiming outer space is an open system next to the Earth's pressure with no solid barrier separating the two, which again it defies physics. So the whole globe Earth model, everything about the globe Earth model defies physics. So that basically these images defy physics. So if I showed you guys an image of me flying, would you guys believe I could fly?
Yeah.
I mean, like, yeah.
No, I mean based on the globe Earth logic, then I wouldn't be surprised. But in using real logic, then obviously that's impossible. Yeah.
It's out there.
What if I showed you a video of me flying? Because video is more convincing, right?
Yeah, most
But
of
it still
be,
defies
like, an
physics.
independent person, and like it'd be insanely hard for you as a
What if I showed you guys a video of me walking on water?
Do you actually have one?
No, I don't. I should make one to show you guys.
Dude.
I feel like if you could like perfectly recreate like a reflection on that water and like have it perfectly mimic how it should react, you deserve.
you probably-
I deserve to believe you. That's like so.
No, you'll probably be able to convince gullible people.
CGI skills?
That's how religions are formed, though. You convince people that you can do supernatural things, and now they start following you because they think you're godlike. Blah 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 blah. That's how religions are formed. When you start believing in the impossible, in the physically impossible. So obviously, if somebody shows me somebody walking on water, I've seen magic tricks like this before in person too. Of somebody walking on water, they're literally using like see-through tables that you can't see through water. But then people swim under it too to show. But in reality, it's just a see-through platform they're walking over. You can't see it with the naked eye, and it looks like you're walking on water. So there's always going to be trickery. That's what magicians do for a living. They try to trick people's perceptions of things that defy physics. That's what the globe Earth is doing to us. They're just magicians trying to warp our perception of what this reality is using camera trickery instead of like a magician in real time.
I have a feeling that
Yes.
the fifth grader.
No. So
it's a good lead-in. It's a good lead-in. I must say.
I mainly do this to start a conversation, but here's the thing: the principles that debunk the globe Earth, which is buoyancy, in my opinion, are literally elementary logic. It's elementary physics.
My elementary wasn't too good.
No, I would say the education system is failing us in a sense where they're just dumbing people down now. They're not teaching us how to think; they're teaching us what to think, and there's a huge difference between that. So that's why a fifth grader is not as sharp as they should be. Again, just repeating information and memorizing information is not being smart, which is what a lot of fifth graders do nowadays.
More than effective.
You need to trust your common sense. You need to trust your own intuition. You need to go by the scientific method, which is measurable, testable, and repeatable. If you can't go through the scientific method, then it's bullshit, in my opinion, and you shouldn't be teaching it. So that's what they're doing to us in school. They're just mentally crippling us to just accept what we're being told so that we can accept a way of life, for example, as well.
But I mean,
I do agree, genuinely. But
Yeah.
I do wonder what's the end game for the globe truthers? Because like something like, okay, a little risky, like 9/11, there's a genuine reason why you would want to or not to believe a certain narrative. Not saying anything on that, but for the globe truth, what's the end game? Like, what's like the governmental worldly game?
So-
I'm not going to space.
So
I will never do that.
exactly. So let me ask you this: what's the end game for a religion, for example, like a cult? We'll say like a cult. What's the end game for that cult to lie to their people?
If you're evil, garner power and
You get to control people. You get to people do what you tell them to do. It's about control at the end of the day, right? Would you say when it comes to cults?
And follow-up question: what's control garnered from me believing it's flat versus sphere?
Okay.
It doesn't change how I act.
Okay, I'm gonna answer both of those questions together. So obviously we understand that cults take advantage of people, and the benefit is that basically they take advantage of people. People do what they want. It's about control at the end of the day. The globe Earth is the biggest cult on Earth because not only are they lying to us about what this place actually is, people have to trust them to in other words, believe them what is actually happening. And not only that, once they gain people's trust about what this reality is, then they're able to like lie to them about an economy, for example,
So it's
and a
just
way
like-
of life. So it's about control.
Gateway drug?
It's like
Is that what you're saying?
that's a good way to put it. Like
You could say that. Yeah.
have them believe
It's,
this
yes,
first.
yes.
So sort of like
So it's like a cheap shot on your common sense first to trust authority, so that then you trust authority about other subjects as well.
like a lead-in.
Yes,
Right.
yes, it's kind of like a lead-in, exactly. So this is not about the shape of the earth; it's about common sense, and about trusting your own common sense. That's what it is.
Okay.
So it's about control at the end of the day. That's why they do it. And I don't know if you knew, NASA, in my opinion, the biggest church on earth, gets over 70 million.
NASA as a church?
Well, NASA as a whole is a church, in my opinion. Well, it's an extension of a church, which is government is the church. In other words, government is no different than a church.
What constitutes a church?
So a church, in my opinion, has to have blind believers that literally pay and fund the church. I don't know if you knew, in every church ceremony, they always ask for money at the end, you know. So people have to blindly follow a church and literally willingly fund it. The globe Earth is no different. People willingly fund it through our tax dollars, and they just blindly follow it.
But like, what's to say? Like, let's say in a church setting, right?
Yes.
Like, let's say a believer and like someone who's weak, right? The believer gets something out of it for sure, like in exchange for like not physical things, like let's say just like a purpose in life.
Sure.
Yeah, a purpose in life, but someone like gets something out of that too. So what's to say that it's not like? Who's to say like this is a bad?
Well, I would say that they are giving purpose. This system does give people purpose, like government gives people purpose, but in the wrong purpose. Like, for example, your purpose is to just work and pay taxes. And if you pay your taxes, you're a good citizen, and that's your purpose. So this system, government, does give people a false purpose.
Gotcha.
So it's not our true purpose. That's the reality. That the reality is nobody can tell you what your true purpose is other than yourself. No religion can tell you.
I do.
Yeah, that's the reality. But government does that for people. You know. So again, government is just a church. I don't know if you knew, before government, it was church that ruled everything, that governed the people.
Some type of
Yeah.
authority.
And then what happened is that science became more prominent. So it became science versus religion, right? So what happened is the government took over the science domain to go against religion. But the fact is, this government is just another religion in disguise.
Yeah.
So they're both just two different religions supposedly opposing each other, but they're not. It's just two churches.
I do agree, but it's just like thinking plainly. Even like, I still don't see like the entire purpose of like the faking the globe Earth thing. It seems so annoying. Like they already can get away with this with like smaller incidents. You know, like why go through all that effort, right, for something that I don't care.
Because it kind of separates, in my opinion, men from the boys. That's what it does. So the globe Earth,
from the men.
boys from the men.
Boys to men.
Yeah, boys to men. So yeah, in my opinion, this subject does separate the true independent thinkers from just the sheep followers. So and if you're a sheep follower, in other words, if you believe in the globe Earth,
Yeah.
then you're just gonna follow. That's what sheep do.
I feel like a sheep follower more so is like entirely dependent on a governing thought. Like for example, someone who is strictly conservative they follow strictly conservative ideals, even though they don't align with themselves.
Right.
And you can say the same thing about conspiracy theorists. Like, for example, 9/11. I'm not bringing us.
It's like the fourth time you bring it up.
Genuine.
He's bringing it up, not me.
I'm being genuine. 9/11. Whatever.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah, I mean,
what
here.
are you trying to do?
Here, you could give this a read. Yeah, that's my channel right there.
Yeah.
Can we get one of those afterwards?
Actually, that's my last one, but you can take a picture here.
Over here first.
No, I know. You guys could take a picture of this. That's the exact same thing, front and back. You guys can take a picture.
Okay. That's cool, dude.
What do you teach or what?
I do teach about this subject. Yeah.
For strong? What is it? What's up?
Well, I'm doing this independently. I don't have any gain other than my free time.
Oh.
But yeah, I teach about. You've heard about people questioning the shape of the Earth?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So the Earth is not a ball. That's the reality. So I'm here teaching people why. that
You're a
is.
science?
Yeah. You could say I'm into science.
You
Sure.
said
I'm
taught
a,
this
yeah.
Did you come here?
I didn't come here. No, I'm just here visiting. Yeah, I'm just here challenging the current narrative. That's what I'm doing
What have you gotten? What responses?
The same responses every time. You know, I believe the globe because they show me pictures of it and stuff like that. But physical science, natural science here on Earth shows that the Earth is not a ball and it's actually a level plane. So yeah, you can check out my channel. I go to other universities as well, USC, UCR, and I come here as well.
How long have you been
Come
doing
to
it?
UCI.
3 years.
Yeah, I go to UCI. Dude, come to UCI.
UC Irvine?
Yes.
Yeah, I've gone there only once.
What?
Yeah, I've only gone there once.
You don't like it?
Eh,
It's
eh.
because the people are boring. They don't like combat you at all.
To be honest, when I went, it was kind of dead. Like it wasn't that, busy.
It's crazy dead, dude. Everyone like.
Yeah, UCR is actually pretty packed compared to UCI. I go to UCR a lot. This is my second time here, by the way.
I feel like people.
Yeah,
use-
yeah. Thank you.
I feel like probably people at UCR are more like normal. As in, they have like a set of social obligations. You know what I mean?
Yes, I noticed that I get a lot of conversation at UCR too. I go to USC, and believe it or not, there's a lot of students that walk through my table, but I get way less conversations there. William. Yeah, it's on the flyer there.
Okay.
Oh yeah, appreciate it, man. Yeah, take care. So yeah,
9/11.
9/11.
Okay,
Sure, yeah.
Anyway, I feel like if you want to make that argument, I feel like it's kind of like it's a little too loose. Like you're making this sweeping claim, like believe this, you must believe this. But I feel like the most common attribute of like a sheep thinker or whatever you call it is following a set of rules rather than picking and choosing off of your own judgment. Like for example, the global Earth thing, whatever, right? You could choose to not believe or not believe it, but that doesn't explicitly mean you don't believe in other things, right? Like, sure, you can put it as a landmark, but true free thinkers are not going to be like attached to like I can't believe this because I believe the Earth is a
I kind of see where you're
it's
getting.
like a weird denomination that you're making right now. Even if I do or do not agree with the global Earth thing, I guess, right?
Yeah.
It's like I don't know. I feel like it's really counterintuitive to make this separation for like kind of no reason.
Like he said, it's kind of like a stepping stone or like a step in. Yeah, like a gateway, exactly. And I'm gonna tell you
Why
why.
would you need a gateway if you're a true
To
free
gain
thinker?
people's trust. So
Yeah, but
that,
what I'm saying is, if you're a true free thinker, you don't need this gateway. You choose. If I care about something enough, like.
but here's the thing: when I believe in the globe Earth,
Excuse me.
sure.
Sorry. But if I believe in something enough, I research it myself. Like if I cared enough about the Earth being a globe or not, I would look into it. I guess I would be able to combat it in a more effective way. I don't care. If it's flat, that's kind of cool too. I guess.
So I'm gonna give you my experience because I can only speak for myself. So when I believed in the globe Earth almost 10 years ago, I accept almost 10 years ago. I'm 33.
Hey, dude, you look good for 33.
Oh, yeah, thank
Not
you.
even like that's not even old, but like.
No, yeah, I appreciate that, man.
Look tight.
Yeah, thank you, man. So I believe everything about government. So I never second guess government. So everything that I heard from government, their sources, I took it at face value. So I completely trusted the government. Ever since I came across this subject, not only once I realized that holy shit, all the physical evidence shows that it's physically impossible, and I looked into it, I researched it because I cared about it. Once I realized that holy shit, they are lying to us, right? I accepted it. Then I was like, holy shit, what else are we being lied to? So it's kind of like a gateway in the other way around. Once you start questioning this, you start questioning everything. So you start realizing like, holy shit, we're being lied to about our nature of the existence of this place, because not only are they lying to us about the shape of the Earth, but that also comes with they're lying to us about this place being a creation. So this place 100% was created from something. And even science, the science community this reality, this Earth, this existence.
thing we're living
Yes, this experience we're experiencing right now did come from something. Because even the first law of thermodynamics, energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It can only transform from one form to another, right?
Yeah.
This reality didn't come from nothing. So it came from something. Not only that, the fact that everything's intelligently designed so that we fit perfectly within it, like the way we breathe air, the way our lungs expand when we, to be able to breathe, everything, the way the mind works, our blood cells, our veins, and everything is intelligently designed, 100%, no doubt in my mind. How was it intelligently designed, and what God created it? I don't know. That's where religion comes in to try to fill in the hole and try to control people.
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, this is important because not only do you start to gain your own common sense back, you start to trust your own intuition and your own discernment over what people are saying, especially if what you're seeing contradicts what they're saying. Like if physics shows me something different than what you're saying, then I'm gonna go with what I know, especially if you can't show me what you're saying, So again, if somebody claims to me, I can walk on water, blah, 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 I know that's physically impossible. You can't walk on water. You're too dense to walk on water. That's obvious. That's a physical fact. That's a fundamental fact of our reality. So anybody making the contrary claim to that, not only are you bound to prove it, but I'm not going to believe it until you can physically prove it. And that's what the globe earth offers. So again, it's all about gaining people's trust, and throwing our common sense away so that then we're more easily controllable.
Right.
That's what it comes down to, is to make us more easily controllable. So again, it's not about the shape of the earth, it's about control. And yes, and this is just a cheap shot on our common sense to make us more easily controllable. Because that's what the goal is. It's for control. And we do follow the rules, like you were saying, you have to just blindly follow the rules to be in a cult or just to believe. We do. That's what laws are. I do get that there are human rights, and I respect human rights, especially the Bill of Rights, the first 10. But when it comes to just other laws, like just made up laws, such as like paying taxes, for example, and just stuff like that, those are laws there just to control us. Those are rules to control us. And there's a lot of laws or rules that violates our rights. I don't know if you knew that, which they shouldn't, but they do. Like, for example, getting checked at an airport. Again, it was because of 9/11. But now they're violating.
There's genuine good immediate precedents
No.
where, like, I could see if it did or did not happen. I could see genuine precedent. Like, there's immediate results, which maybe that's why I'm like not excited about thinking for the book, because that's like that's a long short plan. I'm maybe thinking too short term.
Sure.
If 9/11 was or wasn't, that's a short term plan, and there was genuine precedent.
Sure, but the thing is that, in my opinion, they use that kind of an excuse as well to be able to check people when they go into flights, flying in and out. Now they're violating people's Fourth Amendment right to privacy when you board a plane.
Just in general, too.
So that's just some of the laws that they're implementing that take advantage of us and that we just blindly follow.
Did you see that shit with the Trump? What's it called? It was with this like horrible software company. They wanted to deploy like a citizen database.
Okay.
Where like they try. This is not genuinely not like a theory thing. This is like genuine in the talks. I wish I remember the what it was called. The company and the product they wanted to start loading to like pretty much just track everyone. It's like stupid. It's insane. Okay.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I would say that. Again, it just comes down to control at the end of the day.
Does that fall into like the control aspect? You think like global Earth, like president was a gateway to that kind of like implementation later on, like controlling.
I feel like it's a long con, right? I get what you're saying.
Sure.
You do make a good point. I guess if you wanted to really, really get a nice grasp on the balls, you gotta dine them first.
Yeah.
Sure. Fair.
Oh yeah. So that's what it comes down to, because a lot of people can get over that. Like, but what was the point of why lie about the shape of the earth? And it's just people just can't get over that hump. That it's not about the shape of the earth per se. It's about control, but controlling people's minds and perception about the reality. Think about that. So that's what it's about.
What other? Because this can't be it's not a smart plan to just have one gateway. What other things besides the global Earth theory? I mean, are they using?
Well, religion.
To be fair, it is. If hypothetically, it would be a great gateway because you're in the deep minority, right? So you can't, hypothetically, it's like an amazing gateway. It's like a crack. Crack did wonders. Genuinely.
Did wonders for some.
Sure.
Yeah. Good job, dude.
No, yeah. So yeah. I mean, Any questions about this subject? Specific? Any other questions? I mean,
what do you think? What do you think is the more immediate gain of this? This is just an intro, but from this, what's like the most important thing you've questioned that you mentioned earlier?
to be honest, this is the biggest lie on earth, in my opinion. What the shape of it?
Let me restate my question.
Yes.
What do you think is a more important lie? Because this is important, maybe for forming like the thought process of the common citizen. But after that deployment, what do you think is something they're lying about that genuinely does have an impact on like day-to-day life? Other than, I know like thinking is very important, right? But let's say something more physical, real. Like you said taxes, but don't say that one. You already said
Yeah. So again, it just comes back to a way of life, way of life. At the end of the day. So we're all being governed by governments, obviously, which dictate how we should live our lives. In every country you go to, it doesn't matter if you go to Europe, the UK, everybody pays their taxes like good little citizens, everybody works, and everybody just does what they're told. So the problem is not civil obedience, it's not civil disobedience, it's civil obedience. That's the problem. So that I would say that's the bigger issue when it comes, other than the shape of the earth, is civil obedience. That's what it comes down to.
When you say like governments dictate
Yes.
the common man's action,
Yes.
like isn't there like a wiggle room? Like they're not gonna tell me to like go to exactly.
So the freedom of choice they give us is an illusion. So they're giving you a freedom of choice between Coke and Pepsi. They're giving you the choices already. And then you have the freedom of choice to choose between the two. But what if I didn't want any? What if I wanted something completely different?
Like
We don't have that choice. We don't have true freedom of choice, in other words. They give you a Republican and a Democrat, and then you have freedom of choice now between them two. But it's not true freedom of choice. It's limitation.
I get what you mean. I was thinking like maybe more specific. That is ties into what you were saying.
Yes.
Okay, I gotta grab this. It's like 30 minutes of my lunch break.
Okay, no worries, man. All right, man. It was a pleasure, man.
Yeah, man, can we get a picture?
Yeah, definitely.
Wait, how are we gonna do this? Who's the longest arm? I'm like 5'6", bro.
I'm like short.
You're also like 5'6". We're like, all, are you taller?
Yeah, I'm tall. I'm short. So I have short arms too.
Yeah.
I mean, I could stay in the middle. You guys could stand right here and then just kind of like angle it down. There you go.
Maybe like 5.
There you go. That's perfect. There you go.
Bro,
you're gonna get a cramp.
Okay, you can get your picture, dude. At this point.
No.
You get your picture.
I need to get my
Okay, yeah. Stacey's. Great.
Thanks so much.
This is genuinely pretty tight, dude.
This is
No, yeah,
This is
appreciate it,
actually
man.
pretty tight.
Appreciate it, man.
I don't particularly agree about the gold.
No.
But
I don't expect you to.
I think some common, who does this? But I think there is good precedent for why you would want to have a good control over like a person's mindset.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. All right, man. Appreciate it. Thank you. Have a good one. Yeah, you too. Hi. So you guys want to give this a shot?
Sure.
Really easy. So let's get started with the basic. I know I had a lot going on right here right now, but bear with me.
What is this for, man?
I'm sorry?
Oh, what is this for?
Well, I have a YouTube channel.
Oh,
I just share the conversations I have in public.
What's your YouTube channel?
I'll give it to you after.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. So, all right, let's start with this one. These are the two questions. Very easy. So we'll start with this one. So, I have a bowling ball hanging with a string inside of a box truck, and the box truck is completely sealed. Right? It's inside the box truck, and one box truck is at rest, one is accelerating forward, and one is accelerating in reverse. So, out of these three, which one is at rest?
At rest?
At rest.
This one.
Yes. Yeah. Why do you say that one's at rest?
So it's not moving.
Exactly. Pretty
Okay.
easy. Which one's accelerating forward?
This one.
Yes. How do you know that one's accelerating forward?
Direction, I don't know.
It pushes it back.
Right. Because of inertia.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So
right.
obviously,
Wall motion.
yeah. So the box truck accelerating forward in this direction gives us this effect: the bowling ball being left behind.
Okay.
It's basically being left behind
Okay.
because of inertia. It's resisting
Yeah.
the motion.
Okay.
So, all right. So the
Okay.
second one is pretty similar, but instead of a bowling ball, it's a helium balloon. Obviously, tied to a string. So out of these three, which one is at rest?
B.
Yes. And it's for the exact same reason as the first one, because it's not moving. Which one's accelerating forward?
C.
Yes, you got it. How did you know it's C?
Because the balloon is, I don't know how to articulate it, but because it's not solid. It's
Okay.
like it pushes forward.
It's because it's less dense than the air.
Exactly.
So yeah, and it's because when you accelerate the truck in this direction, all of the air that's inside the truck, it's also accelerating through space in that same direction. So because air is more dense than helium, is able to push it in the same direction as the force. So again, that's what we will call buoyancy, right? Buoyancy. You guys heard of buoyancy, right?
I don't remember.
So when you have a ball and you push it underwater, and you know it pushes
Yeah,
back.
it's like-
It's buoyant, so it floats in water.
Okay.
Right. So that's what a helium balloon does the same. It floats in air.
Okay.
Because helium is less dense in air.
Okay.
So again, depending on the direction the air is being pushed, that's the direction the helium is also going to get pushed because the air is able to push it in that same direction.
And this one, like, is reversing?
And this one is reversing.
Okay.
Yes, exactly. Because that's how the helium balloon will react.
Okay.
Exactly. So, and I can show that here. Like, this is a buoyant object inside of a water container, obviously. So if I accelerate in this direction, what direction do you think the ball is going to go?
You go this way?
Yes.
This way.
No. It goes with the direction
It
of
goes
the force.
with the direction of the force.
Yes.
Okay.
See? The initial acceleration.
Do it again?
Yeah, I'll do it again. In the initial acceleration, the ball's going to go forward.
Okay,
You see that?
Yeah.
Because acceleration causes that push, you know,
Okay.
of the medium, and then the medium is able to push the less dense object. You know, that, again. So here, let me show you this. I did this experiment in a cargo van with the helium balloon and an apple. So based on these principles, what direction would you say I accelerated this? To the right or to the left?
The right.
To the right.
Exactly. Because not only does matter show you the instant I accelerated, but it also shows you the direction I accelerated.
Yeah.
Because again, in order for the helium balloon to get pushed in that direction, the air also has to be getting pushed in that same direction. So again, and I did it on a smaller scale, just to prove the point. A water container with a ping pong ball and a steel ball. So what direction would you say I accelerated here?
The same way, right?
Yes, same way. Again, because again, the buoyant object got pushed in that direction by the
Exactly.
water, which got pushed by me, obviously. You know, obviously. So perfect. So I did one last one, but in this one I did a vertical acceleration. So I was holding a water bottle in my hand, and I only accelerated one of them down vertically. Which one of these two would you say I accelerated down? The one on the left or the one on the right?
This one?
The one on the right? Yes, that's the obvious one. Because obviously, not only can you see a change happening,
Yeah.
the matter basically reacted to that acceleration. This one, there was no reaction, there was no change, right?
Correct.
So let me ask you guys this. If I'm holding a container like this, and I just simply released it into free fall, I didn't accelerate it, but just released it into free fall, do you believe gravity pulled it down to the earth?
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So here's the thing. The one on the left was actually free fall. So we can see that matter didn't react to that acceleration because I don't know if you guys knew, gravity is just a theory. So a physical downwards force of gravity has never been detected or measured. So a downwards acceleration of matter has never been actually detected or measured.
It's just that we, like, it's the label we give for, like, the reaction of things falling down.
Yes. So what's actually happening there is, if we understand buoyancy always follows the direction of the force, right? If we have a helium balloon here on Earth, right? And I released it right now, what direction does it go?
Up.
Why does it go up?
Because it's buoyancy.
Because of buoyancy.
Yeah.
But what's pushing up the helium?
The air.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. So in this example, it was the truck that was pushing the air, that was pushing the helium. What's pushing up the air here on Earth to be able to push up the helium?
What is it, like the atmosphere or the...
Yeah, so what's pushing up the atmosphere to be able to push up the helium? Because the atmosphere is air, pretty
Right,
much.
right.
Yeah. So the helium is showing us that it's being pushed up by the air, which means the air is also being pushed up.
Right.
So what's pushing up the air?
What's pushing up the air? That's a good question. I'm subbing you in.
Not sure either.
Yeah, it's actually the Earth. So the ground you're standing on right now is pushing up right now on you. It's not pulling you down, and that's why gravity is just a theory. Because again, that pulling force of gravity doesn't exist. It's actually a pushing force of the Earth. So again, when you release an object into free fall, it's only apparent that it accelerates down, but the fact is, it's the Earth that's coming up to meet it.
Because we're pushing down, right? And for
Well-
every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction.
Yeah, but we're not necessarily pushing down. It's actually due to inertia.
Oh, okay.
So our bodies are stuck to the Earth, not only because the Earth is pushing up, which obviously makes us stick to the Earth, but obviously because your mass has inertia. So again, when something just in free fall and the air's not dense enough to push it, the air's not dense enough to push it, then this falls due to inertia. It doesn't accelerate down. It's the Earth that just comes up to meet it again.
Interesting.
So that's the reality. So let me ask you guys this. You guys believe the Earth is a ball, right?
Yeah.
So you guys understand that on a ball, up is relative. In other words, if you're standing here, up will be this way, but if you're standing down here, up
Yeah.
will be this way, in every direction away from the center, right? If we could physically prove that the Earth is literally pushing up right now, which we can, buoyancy shows us that, and it's not pulling us down, how can the Earth move up in every direction at the same time if it was a ball?
I'm not sure.
So it wouldn't work. So that would mean the Earth will have to be expanding to be able to push up in every direction away from the center,
Yeah.
which will mean the Earth will just explode. So it
Right.
wouldn't work. So in order for people to believe in the ball Earth theory, they first have to believe in the theory of gravity being a pulling force. Because if we could prove that gravity is a pushing force of the Earth, then the globe Earth will fall apart. So the whole globe Earth concept wouldn't work. So that would be the number one proof to debunk the globe Earth, is the fact that gravity is a push of the Earth, not a pull. So, and again, buoyancy shows us the direction of the force is up. So if I was to ask you guys respectfully, what's the number one proof that makes you guys believe the Earth is a ball?
I guess
That the Earth
satellite
is round?
imaging.
Huh?
You said number one proof that the Earth is round?
Yes. Why do
I've
you
been on airplanes.
You've been in an airplane. What about it?
You can kind of tell.
Like the
So,
curvature.
so you think you've seen the curvature of the Earth? Okay. So let me ask you this: if there was curvature to the Earth, like if you could see it, we should be able to physically measure it, right?
I'm not sure.
I mean, if you think you're seeing the curvature of the Earth, right, we should be able to physically measure it here on
think
Earth.
so,
Yeah, right. We would think so, right? You know the radius of the Earth? They tell us.
I don't know it off the top of my
No,
head.
right? Actually, you guys can Google this after, but yeah, the radius of the Earth, they tell us, is 3,959 miles. So based on the radius, we can calculate how much curvature there should be every mile. So you guys heard of the Pythagorean theorem, right? A squared plus b squared equals c squared. So using that simple calculation, we can calculate for how much curvature there should be every mile, and it actually comes out to 8 inches per mile squared. That means that in the first mile, there should be an 8-inch drop. Second mile, there should be 32 inches. And by the third mile, there should be 6 feet of measurable curvature. So how do we measure for this curvature, right? Like physically, right? There's a very easy way. So if we went out to a giant lake that was miles across, and you build a level structure over the body of water, a horizontal structure, the water is going to be parallel to anything horizontal above when, if you pay attention to the surface of water. But they're trying to tell us that the surface of water is bending 6 feet in 3 miles if we were to go out and measure a lake. But that's physically impossible. Water doesn't have the physical ability to maintain a shape on the surface. The surface of water will always collapse and form an equal surface, which is level. So this will be the number 2 proof to debunk the globe Earth. It's the fact that the physical measurement of the Earth has never been done and can never be done because it doesn't exist. And water will debunk that. So I would say what you thought you've seen in the airplane was either, obviously the limit of how far you can see is not the curve of the Earth, it's just the limit of perspective. But if you think you've seen curvature left to right, like a curve like that, a lot of airplane windows have like dome windows. So it could have just been warping the light and making it seem that way. But the reality is that's physically impossible. So yeah, the Earth is a level plane. It's not flat. Because I know you guys heard of flat Earth, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, so flat Earth is a psyop. It's no different than the globe Earth. And I'm going to tell you why. Because over 95% of flat Earthers, especially online, they all claim the Earth is motionless.
Kyrie Irving?
Yes, I would say he's a motionless flat Earther too, in my opinion. So he's part of the psyop too.
Oh,
So
okay.
they all claim the Earth is motionless, which means they deny that the Earth is pushing up, which it literally is, because that's where buoyancy comes from. So they believe that objects accelerate down in free fall, just like the globe Earth, which is just a theory. So they have their own theories about that.
So what was your theory about the?
Well, I don't ha-
theory?
So the Earth is a level plane, and it's level because it's literally moving up. So it's level relative to its motion. Because level is an orientation, and in order to have orientation, you require a force,
And the force is up.
and the force is up, not down. That's the only difference it did.
What about like satellite imaging and things like that? Because that's like what about my
Yeah. So that's actually the number one proof people bring up when
Yeah.
they talk about the globe. And I don't know if you knew, well, these are official NASA images from 2002 and 2012. And they admit that they make their images in a computer. So they're all computer generated. So in other words, they're CGI. So a real photograph of the Earth from space as a ball doesn't exist. Nobody's actually been to outer space for that matter, to be fair. So everything that they're showing us about outer space and what's outside, the galaxy, all of that's just cartoons for adults. It's just CGI.
And what do you think is the government's motivation for covering up the truth?
It's not only to it comes down to control at the end of the day. So it's to warp people's perception about what the reality actually is, so that then people just trust the authority that's telling us that, and then they're able to just control us easier. It's just about gaining control, you know. And people believing that, placing trust in these authority figures, then now you're gonna do everything they say now. You're gonna just believe, how we should live. And, when they raise taxes, for example, people just go with it. This whole way of life.
Is there like a developed literature behind like the playing field being like a surface level?
Yes, actually, if you look at engineering, for example, so anybody that works in engineering that builds bridges, for example, that are miles across, or when they lay down railroads, for example, all of the blueprints that they use are all done from plumbs and levels.
Right.
Plumbs and horizontal lines. So none of these blueprints have curved baselines.
But I just mean in like retrospect, like
What kind of literature are you talking about?
I mean, like, okay, so what would you consider this? Is this like astrophysics, like in regards?
Well, this
to,
is natural physics.
natural physics.
Natural physics.
Okay.
Yes.
So yeah, is there like a literature or like research or anything like that that's been like put towards like discovering like the actual?
If there was, in my opinion, it's been removed from like.
Censored?
Yes, it's been censored.
Censored by who?
Well, the government. I don't know if you knew, winners write the history books.
Well,
So
I feel
people
like
that create
So-
war. And
Wait, but
then-
how would like? But this is like we're talking now
Yes.
like on the global level, right?
Do you
So
think all the
governments are like working
Yeah.
together?
Oh yeah, definitely. You guys heard of the UN,
Yeah.
the United Nations?
Yeah, but what about countries that are worried
Outside of
with
the
each other
Independent?
outside of the UN? Exactly.
So I would say the independent nations like Cuba and Saudi Arabia, right, or what was it, Iraq or whatever, right? I would say those independent nations there's a lot of propaganda that goes into making them look like the bad guys. So we go bomb them, we go and all of that because they're a threat to our economy. Anybody that's independent, it's a threat to the UN's way of life. So that's why we start wars against them, to basically destroy their agriculture and their way of life, so that the other people don't catch on.
What about North Korea?
I would say the same thing. Yeah, that's just the new age Cuba, in other words. So again, it's all about control at the end of the day. The globe Earth belief is the biggest religion on Earth because all religions are based on faith. People just follow these religions blindly, and the globe Earth is no different. People just believe it blindly. It's just what I was told as a kid. And if I'm being honest, that's why I believed it too. Because
Yeah, I mean,
I was told that as a kid. I was showing images on the TV, and I trust authority especially when you're a child. You trust adults. You trust authority figures, and that's how they want us as adults as well, just to trust someone else. They don't want us to be independent thinkers and to think for ourselves and actually be independent. They want us just to be followers, and that's what it's about. So it's not so much about the shape of the earth; it's about control.
Interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, man. It's
Yeah, that's like really interesting.
No, yeah.
I'll look into it. You said you have a YouTube channel.
I
Yeah.
actually don't have flyers with me, but here, you guys could take a picture of this, or you guys could scan the
Yeah, we'll
code
scan.
or look at my channel.
Thank
But
you.
yeah, I go to USC, I go to UCR, UC Irvine,
Super cool.
so I go to all the universities here and challenge the current narrative.
Were we smarter than fifth graders?
Yeah, everybody is, believe it or not. If you trust your common sense, you're smarter than a fifth grader. Because a fifth grader can easily be swayed to not trust their common sense, especially nowadays
For sure.
with authority figures, telling us what to do and shit like that.
For sure.
But
Well, yeah, thank you so much.
no, yeah, I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Of course. Well, have a great day. We're heading
Yeah,
over to the
yeah, appreciate it, man.
My hands are wet.
Ah.
I'm gonna throw
Thank you. Have a
Take
good
care,
one.
man. All right, you too.
I'll just probably try.